YouTubers. Well, in this video I'm got myself another saw project that I'm working on here. This time around I've got a old Husqvarna 254. Actually, I guess it would be a 254 XP. There was a couple of variations of these. There was the earlier 154 SEs, and then I guess when they transitioned over from the 154s, they just called them 254, and then they eventually became the 254 XP at some point. But in this video I want to talk about how to deal with well, just dirty, grungy, dingy, well, nasty saws that are so filthy you barely want to well, sometimes they're so bad you barely want to touch them, and that's kind of where this is with this saw here. I started pulled all the covers, as you can see, off it and got into it a little bit, and this thing is I went ahead and pulled the muffler because I wanted to check the piston and cylinder, and this saw has got actually very good compression. It was a saw that had been parked, I guess, on the shelf for a long time already, but I was told it had good compression, and it does. I checked it out, and it's actually quite snappy. Supposed to have been a running saw, so I played around a little bit with it. Guy claimed he put a new carb kit in it, so he said he got it running, but it didn't run very good. But I dug around, looked at the tank, and the fuel filter was literally like brown crap tarnish or whatever, so I went ahead and put a new fuel filter on it. Somebody swapped out the fuel line in here. It's not an OEM original, of course. They used some kind of that crappy yellow tie something or whatever you call it there. That I don't know. I have a dim view of that stuff. I don't particularly like it. I like to use something like an Echo or a Still. Well, I buy a bulk fuel line and use it if I can't find the original Husqvarna one to replace. So, but anyways, this saw, like I say, it does run. I got it up and going after changing the fuel filter and tinkering around with it a bit, and it actually runs very good. It's very snappy. I should make a really good saw. But before I go ahead and do any more service work, I went ahead and I started here by wanted to check out to make sure the clutch bearing was good and all that, and I took the clutch off, and of course the sprocket, the rim sprocket was pretty much shot. It wore out, so I went ahead and I have a few spares, so I went ahead and put a new spare, put one of my new spares on here. So I changed that out, and the oiler and everything seems fine. Everything looks good. Nothing, no excessive wear there. But this, every time I touch this thing, I am literally look like I was in a coal mine type of thing. It is just full of soot and black tar from top to bottom. Everything. Like, you can see the top cover here, inside. Everything is like a dingy brown. This is all supposed to be original covers and everything on it, and I believe it, like I say it to be, because it's got the XP designation, and this was an air injection saw. Now people can change covers and, you know, top covers and recoil covers and all that and claim it's something other, but the difference on this one is it's got the plastic backing baffle with the two little screws that hold it in here, and then there's another what they call the air horn that clips into this, and it comes up over here, and it's got a little grommet that feeds right into the air through the top cover here into your air box or into the filter box. And the difference, you know, on these is compared to the earlier models is the earlier models, this was closed off solid, and this partition wall here has a notch cut in it right here. That's for the air nozzle to feed in. Now unfortunately the original air nozzle is missing on this saw, and it seems to be on most of these saws. All the 262s, the 257s, 254s, they all, for whatever reason, people always lose that nozzle, or when they're monkeying around getting the covers off and on, they get mad because they're in the way, and then they just pull them off and they get chucked. So unfortunately I don't have the nozzle, so it is a correct XP air injection model, but I'm missing the air horn. How much it affects it, I don't know. I haven't played with them that much to know, but of course when you have one, you always end up with two. So I had this this other 254, same thing. It's also air injection, but this one, I'll show you the difference here, what I mean with the top covers. These you can all share covers with the 257s and the 254s. They are interchangeable, but like I say, they also, you can put covers from the 154s And the difference with that, and the handlebar. This is not a correct handlebar for this saw. The early 154s had a smaller diameter handle, whereas the later XP versions had a larger diameter handle, and they were gray plastic versus the early ones were black plastic. From what I understand, this saw I think got smashed because the brake handle, they said, was busted off of it, and they found a handle and a top cover from an older saw that they put on here. But I do have a handle, but I don't have a correct top cover. But like I say, for the time being it'll be fine. This one is a little low on compression. This is just going to be maybe a future project saw of some sort down the road, but at the moment I'm not going to play with this one. This one here is the better candidate. This one's got excellent compression. I did have it running already. This one is supposed to run as well, and I did try it. I didn't put any fuel in the gas tank because the gas line is hard like a rock, and the fuel filter, like I say, is brown like crap, so it's pretty much varnished over, so you know it's not gonna run on that. But I did go ahead and poured a little bit of gas down the carburetor, and it fired up right away, and it ran on primes. So it's got good coil, it fire, and it runs. That one, like I say, it runs. I tuned it. It idles nice. It holds the tune. So that's the one I'll be concentrating on. But 99% of what I'm going to be doing on this one is going to be cleaning. Just to give you an example of the top cover here, like what I was saying. This is the difference between the air injection models, like I say, with the cutaway over here in them, and the early 154 and early 254s that didn't have the air injection. You can see here it's a solid baffle across here. They don't have the cutaway like that one. So that's how you know you've got either an air injection model or a proper cover or not. So, but like I say, you can interchange covers and recoils. I know these recoil covers, the starter assemblies, they're the same between all of them. You can run 254, 257, 262. They all 261. They all share these same design on the later ones, and even some of the earlier 154s will also work. They have a different. They don't have this large rectangular shape over here with the designation. They just have a little small square center, and then it just says 254 on the center, or 154 on the real early ones. So, but that's the difference in. Oh yeah, and the brake handles. This is the newer style with the plastic flag post here, which are now almost impossible to find. On the 254s, this one's plastic, the cover. The 257s were plastic, and some of the 262s were plastic, but a lot of them were magnesium. But this is the newer style, like I say, with the plastic flag post. And early 154s and early I think the early 254s had the metal round little pipe, the metal brake handle. So anyways, that's the differences in these saws so far that I can tell. But this one's going to be getting a good cleaning. Went ahead and pulled the muffler off. Like I say, checked the piston cylinder. Excellent. Very, very nice. No, not a scratch, a score, nothing. It's a real nice clean piston, and the cylinder looks really good, and it's got really good compression, so I'm really happy about that. So I had one other saw the other day here. I was working on another project here. I'll get into that in a later video there. I was just cleaning a top cover for a Johnson Red. A lot of these covers that you can see here, like I say, they're horribly, horribly dirty. It's just caked with like tar. Now this was probably one of those saws where somebody ran used motor oil mixed with their chain oil type of thing, or I see it every now and again. You get these saws that are just, like I say, look like they're covered in black soot and tar. So that's exactly what they were doing. They were using up old used motor oil for chain oil. So not what I like doing. I prefer to use just regular bar and chain oil. Doesn't have to be the best quality, or just as long as it's designated that, and you'll do your saw a world of favor. You won't wear out your oiler as quick, and well, it'll last most of the life of the saw for the most part. I've had saws that are bought. A couple of saws we bought here. I bought mine years ago, one of my Johnson Reds. They're my 630 brand new, and I've never had to change anything on the oiler. It's still going, and that was 30 plus years ago. So it goes to show, if you take care of your stuff and it's still going. The oiler could crap out at any time. It's got a lot of hours and a lot of years on it, but still oils and works excellent. So, but anyways, my beef was trying to deal with these, like I say, absolutely filthy covers. That's not, it's less orange. It doesn't really show on the camera, but by the naked eye here, somebody tried to clean it up a bit here. It's got weird streaky wishy-washy all over on it. They washed it in gasoline, I guess, to try and get the worst of it off, because it's probably, the whole saw is just covered black basically. So, but anyways, I'm going to show a product that I'm using here now that I've discovered. I've tried pressure washing some of these saws that are just so bad like this, and it will not cut the mustard. And most of the saws that are, I've had some pretty you know, grimy ones, and I give them a good going over with a pressure washer, and they come out nice and clean. But the last couple here, like just like this one here, I was dealing with one here a while back, and for the life of me, I monkeyed around for probably 3/4 of an hour with the pressure washer, and it just wouldn't budge. The crap was so gooed and stuck on there, it wouldn't come off. But I found a good degreaser that's actually safe on plastics, well, for the most part, if you don't leave it on too long, and it gets all the crankcase stuff all nice and squeaky clean here. I just cleaned up another old, well, I was working on a still here the other day, and an old MS260, and it was grungy, but not as bad as this one. But I sprayed a little bit of that degreaser on there, and it just cleaned it off. So I hit it with the pressure washer after letting it soak in that stuff for about 10 minutes, and did an absolutely fantastic job. But I'm going to bring this over to where I have the tap there outside the house here, and I'll set all these covers down on a little piece of mesh on a stand I've got there. I'll spray them down, let them soak, and then we'll try and rinse them off and scrub it down and see what I get.